What's travel like now that we can finally go on holiday in the UK? From the UK. I guess we've had staycations but not recently. We found out for you by going to Portugal on the very first day that travel reopened from the UK. I'm here in my home studio. Forgive me wearing my comfies. I am shattered. It was a long 3 days, this trip, right? Like, hard work. I think that maybe my endurance has taken a hit having not done any travel at all for, like 16 months? Anyway, let's get into it. What I'm going to do in this video is give you a nice brief summary of our journey, letting you know what happens every step of the way. And then if you have any questions, anything at all, you can leave them in the comments down below and we will do our best to get a perfect answer to you. Now, in advance of going to Portugal, we had to do a PCR test, which is not the lateral flow antigen test that you would get sent from the NHS if you've applied for your little box of 5 off of the UK government. A PCR test is a more thorough version. We did that by booking it online. It was £150 and going to a local pharmacy, picking up what we had ordered, doing it at home and then giving it back. You need to do that within 72 hours of the flight. So we were flying Monday, I did mine, I put the thing in my nose on Saturday morning and then boxed it up, gave it back to the pharmacy that same Saturday morning. And then by Sunday, I had my test results and I was safe to fly. When it asks if you need a fit to fly certificate or just a negative test result, of the 2 of us that went on this trip, one of us got a fit to fly result and the other just got a negative result. I just got a negative, lab result. Both were fine to travel with. So if you want to be sure, get the fit to fly, but it doesn't cost any extra. We wanted to know what every step of the holiday experience was like, so we drove ourselves to the airport, we parked up at Air Parks Luton, got on the bus. The service at Air Parks Luton was nice, it was quite empty, and on the bus you had to wear a mask. You need to wear a mask on all public transport at the moment, and the bus from the car park to the airport is no different. Walking around the airport too, you need to wear a mask. You need to wear a mask walking around any restaurants, coffee shops, unless you're sat down eating or drinking, and then you can take it off. In terms of all of those documents you've brought with you, your test result you need, obviously your boarding pass and your passport, and also your passenger locator form for Portugal, that caught people out. A lot of people, when we were queuing up for check-in, didn't seem to have their passenger locator form. You can probably, either we'll leave a link below or you can just Google, say Portugal passenger locator form, and it will take you to a place where you can fill that out. You need to have that so the country can get hold of you if you've kind of come into contact with anything, if there's an outbreak at your hotel. It's basically a form that is gonna have your contact details, the location of where you stayed and the location where you live in the UK, just to make sure they can get hold of you if anything happens. So when you go to check-in, we were checking in with EasyJet. The EasyJet lady comes over, she checks your passport, your test results, your passenger locator form, and if all of that's good, then you check your bag and you just carry on as normal. There wasn't a lot of people around. We sat and had a coffee in Pret. Not many places were open other than Pret, but that's fine. I like Pret.
Hello. That was very different. Honestly, besides just the extra paperwork we had to do before heading out, the fact it was the quickest airport security I've ever done. We were minutes, if that. There was just no queues anywhere. I think we're the only flight currently waiting in the airport. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere is open apart from Pret, so we've sat there to get a little coffee. And we're just waiting. I think it's another 20 minutes until we're allowed to get on the flight. I'm curious to see what the seating arrangement will be like. I've had a little look through Twitter and Instagram to see if anyone has, posted their info yet, but no, I don't know if it's going to be distanced or if we're going to be sitting shoulder to shoulder, whether you're going to be allowed to eat or drink, but I will report back on that. So far, very, very, very stress-free. There's a lot of using the NHS COVID app to check in to everywhere you go. You can't sit down in Pret unless you've checked in. I think that's very, very good. Keeping a mask on when you're walking around, but yeah, other than that, it kind of is business as usual, but a lot more calm.
I had been a little bit nervous about this trip at first, but walking to the gate and seeing that plane out on the runway reminded me just how long it had been since we'd traveled, especially considering, we work for a travel company, and I got very excited. But I was still a bit nervous about what the seating arrangement would be like on the plane. It did turn out on the plane that you need to wear your mask at all times, but they informed us quickly that food service would be in effect. They do feed you on the plane if you want it. You can have your little, single serving bottle of bubbles if you're celebrating your first holiday away in a very long time. You just take off your mask temporarily while you're eating or drinking, and then you have to put it back on immediately afterwards. The seats aren't divided, you are sat, the plane is full, okay? Like they seat everyone, there's not like gaps between you, you are still sitting, you'll maybe be sitting next to people that you don't know, but you can take comfort in the fact that everyone who is on that flight has taken a recent negative test. But wearing the mask on the extent of the flight, right? Because the plane is circulating such cool air, I really wasn't uncomfortable. I thought I was going to be uncomfortable having to wear a mask for that long, but the most discomfort I felt was that my mask was cheap and it rubbed on my ears. The cool air, the fact you're sitting down, you know, you're not really talking or walking or anything like that. You don't get stuffy in the mask. You don't get uncomfortable or like too warm. Do you know what I mean? But touching down on the other side, when you get into that airport, you still need to have your mask on. So I would really recommend buying a comfortable mask because you're kind of gonna have to be wearing one from the moment you get in the airport in the UK until probably, including our transfer to the hotel, right up until you get into the hotel, right? When we checked into the hotel, we had to wear a mask. There was signage everywhere to make sure we knew that the place was being kept clean. Staff were wearing their mask in the hotel, and walking around the hotel, you needed to wear your mask. The restaurants were open, the bars were open, but you needed to wear your mask if you were walking around, but once you were sat at your table, you could take your mask off. And obviously you didn't need to wear your mask in the hotel room. And by then I was quite glad to finally get it off.
So, here's the thing with masks and beards. I have a parting. I don't know, I think it's quite stylish. Maybe I'll keep it, a bit futuristic.
The following morning, we woke up and had a lovely breakfast. They did a buffet down in the hotel, just like you expect in a lot of these places, but you didn't serve it yourself. It was done by a member of staff, so you weren't touching the same ladle that everyone else that was staying there had touched, right? The breakfast was served to you. The first time you touched the plate and the food was when you were being given it to go back to your table. And then, yeah, we did a big live stream on our Facebook page that was answering loads of questions. The weather was lovely, and afterwards we got a call.
So we just did our big live stream for the Facebook page, which was nerve-wracking. But yeah, we managed to share loads of information about the trip, the kind of information we're putting in this video now. And now, I'm so tired already. It's been a very long time since we did these trips, a long time since we were doing this much travel. And it's hot, guys. Like the weather outside is so nice. And I'd forgotten like how tiring that can be if you're busy when it's really hot. Maybe it's just me because I'm just, you know, a pasty British indoorsy type. We also like had a quick conversation with a guy from the BBC, which was really cool. He just wanted a bit of like, you know, on the ground information because some of the first flights are coming out of Leeds this afternoon. Leeds Bradford, I think is the name of the airport. So that was cool. Listen out for it. No, it would have been out by the time this video was out, I'm sure. But now is, what are we up to now? Yeah, so we've done that. We've looked into our testing. Seems that we can just turn up at the airport tomorrow and actually get a test without appointment at Faro Airport, like an antigen test for getting back into the UK. So that will be very cool. We're just gonna set out a little bit early tomorrow for that, I think. So now we've done that. We've done our little interview with the BBC. We've sorted out our tests for tomorrow. Now is the time for us to head into the old town and see what it's like in the towns, right? And also get ourselves some lunch, hopefully. Been working so hard, I've worked up a big appetite.
Heading into Albufeira Old Town felt, I guess like a lot of the trip really, almost normal. There were the little souvenir-y shops were open, there were restaurants open with the sort of terraces out the front that we all know and love. We sat down and had lunch in a restaurant where like the staff wore masks, we had to wear masks to sit down and stuff like that. The sun was shining, there were people on the beach. You don't need to wear a mask on the beach, by the way, as long as you keep your distance from people because you're outside. You don't need to wear a mask in the street, but there is social distancing, so you stay 2 meters away from people if you can. But everything was open, everything was happening. The only thing that was really missing was holidaymakers. At that point, we'd done both of our live streams answering all the customer questions, so we were heading up and back to our hotel, preparing for the next morning when we headed back to the airport to get our tests. Now, there was apparently like some kind of computer problem or something while we were at the airport on the way home, and it did mean that there were long queues to get our test without an appointment. So what we would recommend is seeing if it's an opportunity for you to find a pharmacy nearby your resort, nearby your hotel that will do one for you. There's a good chance someone in your resort or hotel will be able to give you good information on a nearby place you can get a test done, because if it's a matter of popping around the corner to the nice pharmacy with the glowing green cross outside, rather than spending 3 hours in the airport trying to get yourself tested and get your result, that's probably just going to be a little bit more hassle-free, right? Or who knows, maybe you don't want to trade your pool time and you'd rather just do it at the airport. You're free to as well. It was good to have it done there and get results there. Once we had them, because then once we were through security again, it was all very quiet, very calm, and very nearly normal. There was a big queue at the UK passport control. Once we'd got back into the country, well, I guess, are you technically in the country then? I don't know. But once we'd got back into the UK, passport control there was much slower. There aren't the gates anymore where you can just boot your passport and like be shown through. No. Because now you need to show your negative test to get back into the UK. You need to show your passenger locator form, because you need to do a passenger locator form to get back into the UK as well, even if you live here. And then after a short airport transfer, we were back in our car and we were back headed home. Forgive me if I'm a bit spacey. It's just that, you know, it was a very exciting, long couple of days, right? 2 big travel days with a big shoot day in the middle. Oh, kind of exhausted, but also kind of excited that travel's back, right? Now I have this day 2 test, because when you get back to the UK, you need to do a test on or before day 2 of being back in the country. In fact, you can't finish your passenger locator form for the UK unless you have a test booked. So I've got one here, and I should say that in total, we might have spent over £300 a person on testing. But that could easily change, right? 1 week from now, a month from now, like these things are constantly shifting. Now that travel is back open, all of the tests are gonna become a lot more competitive because people are gonna shop around now, right? A lot of holiday providers now doing like package holidays, they include all of the testing as part of the package, which is a fantastic idea. Because then I assume they're gonna help you organize it as well, and that just takes even more stress off. But yeah, I'm gonna get this done, send this away, get my day 2 results, and then that'll be that. The whole journey completed, back to front to back. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you have any other questions, please do just leave them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them based off of our own experiences, or give you resources where you can find a more, resources where you can find an answer. Do check out our website and our green list, which will be in a list below. Our green list lists all of the countries that you can visit now where we're allowed in. It's on our green list, and also that you can visit without having to visit a red country, which means that that's in total the countries that have the minimum amount of like precautions and quarantines in place. So they are going to be the most hassle-free holiday that you can have right now. But thank you very much for listening to my ramble. I hope it was interesting to hear what it's like right now to take a trip, to have a holiday. It's different, but it's not scary. Surprisingly normal, I think, would be, again, the phrase that I would use to summarize the entire trip. If you fancy seeing what we're up to while we're out there is a live stream that we did to YouTube as well, answering some live questions while we were there in Portugal, and you can watch this here or here. I don't know, I haven't planned where the cards and stuff will go yet, but yeah. Happy travels, guys. I hope you're as excited to get back to it as I am. See you soon.